The art of throwing the old pigskin is delicate, complex, and very hard to master. It can take years of dedication and hard work to achieve mastery of this amazing process. There are many correct ways to throw a football, as there are many bad ways to throw a football. But everyone has their own way of throwing, their own correct way of throwing, and everyone's the captain of their own ship. So I want to first start talking about the bad ways and the bad techniques to throw a football. So first, what a lot of people mess up in the beginning is that they face directly towards their target. This way of throwing just doesn't give you a lot of benefits. It doesn't help you with how hard you're throwing or the accuracy of your football. Another thing is arm positioning. A lot of people throw sidearm, which I'll later explain can really hurt yourself. That can really hurt yourself. And they try to push the ball forward instead of actually throwing. But coming back to sidearm, so throwing sidearm can actually really be dangerous for your elbow. So when you're throwing sidearm, you put a lot of pressure right here onto your elbow, especially if you're trying to throw really hard. You're putting a lot of pressure there, and repeated pressure is going to damage your tendons, and then you're going to have to get surgery. And a lot of people coming back from that surgery usually never end up using their elbow the same ever again. So be careful not to get in the habit of throwing side. Now, let's talk about the correct ways to throw a football, or the correct technique. So first off, you want to start with your shoulder facing your target. This allows more power and accuracy to come to your throw, and we'll go through the full body motion of throwing now. So, first, when you hold the football, you should have, typically you should have your pinky and ring finger on the laces only, with a gap in between. And like I said earlier, you want to face towards your target. You want to cock the ball back, obviously, because this is where you generate your power, and you go through the full motion of throwing. But as you begin to throw, you want to set your feet towards your target, drive with your legs, twist your hips, pull back with your left arm, and then flick down at the end of the release. So you come over the top, flick, and then it goes to wherever you're throwing. Now, a lot of people who don't watch football regularly are like, why do the quarterbacks just come up with their left arm? Are they doing that for show? Are they trying to point to where they're throwing? No. That's actually where you can create a slingshot within your body. So what happens is when they do this and they cock back at this stage of the throwing motion, they pull back with their non-dominant shoulder, so my left shoulder, but if you're left-handed, it'd be your right shoulder, and that creates you're stretching your chest muscles, and the muscles have to come back. So when you create that, once you create that stretching process, everything has to come back together, and this creates more throw power, and then flick your wrist and release the ball. All right, now here's something that a lot of people overlook, and watching somebody throw, like a Patrick Mahomes or an Aaron Rodgers, or a Big Ben Roethlisberger. People tend to overlook the feet. The feet are very important when it comes to throwing a football. As I stated earlier, you want to point your toes towards your target, because if you don't point your toes, say your target is over here, but you're pointed this way, it's going to be a lot harder to get a strong, accurate throw to your right if your feet is pointing to the left. Another thing is that when you're playing competitively, and you have a chance of getting tackled, being flat-footed is very, very dangerous. It decreases your mobility, and say if you get hit, since you're like stuck in the ground, So if you get hit in the knee, your foot has nowhere to go because it's already been planted in the ground. And same thing with ankles. Your foot's planted in the ground. You get hit in the ankle. Your ankle can get blown out, and then you have to undergo surgery, and that's just a bad deal. So now you can go to your next barbecue with your uncle and your friends and start slinging the football like a pro. And when they ask, where'd you learn to throw like that? You're looking like the next Tom Brady. Say, thanks to Christian Herod, I now understand how to throw a football correctly.